Hey everybody, Tommy Stryker here, host of the show, The Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. And just a disclaimer here at the beginning of the show. We talk about everything. We talk about NXT Takeover, Survivor Series, all of the fallout, but Taco was not in studio with us today. So we had him call in from home. But we had some issues, technical difficulties, and I think I did a pretty good job editing everything out. So the listening experience should be okay. So that being said, it did affect the conversation continuity a couple of times. Hopefully the conversation remains unaffected and it ends up being a good podcast anyway. So all that being said, I hope you enjoy the show, and as an additional bonus this week, stay tuned after the closing music of the show and I will post all of the outtakes as an Easter egg for today's show. Thanks a lot.
Welcome to the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Absolutely right. Absolutely. Back. Yep. Double yup. Triple yup. Oh no! A brawl's broken out. Didn't see this one coming. What? Battling it out of the ring.
Didn't see it coming.
Chaos.
It's pure chaos here on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm the host, Tommy Stryker. Joining me today, as always, is Joe.
What's up?
And Taco is here as well.
What up?
Taco's actually at home, which is why we had a little bit of a delay there. But he's live
via satellite.
Live via the magic of the internet. What's the internet?
The internet's communications tool used by the world over to bitch about movies, share pornography with one another.
You mean
and bitch about pro wrestling too.
Right, exactly. We do try to keep it positive on this show. We try to keep the bitching to a minimum. There's millions of other wrestling podcasts to talk about the bitching, so we try to keep it a little bit positive, talk about the things that we like. This week we got a lot to talk about as far as things that we like. We've got NXT TakeOver War Games to talk about, Survivor Series. We had the follow-up from Raw and Smackdown. We had the World Tag League start over the weekend. I don't know if I'm going to get to that on this week's show on here, but we'll definitely get to it at some point on Strong Honor. I just got caught up on the World Tag League stuff today. We got to get into we got to talk Survivor Series, right?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Yeah, hell of a show, Survivor Series. What'd you guys think overall?
It was solid. I mean, I enjoyed myself throughout the night. I enjoyed NXT better, honestly. Just that 2.5 hours was just more entertaining. They fit in a lot more in my mind. I mean, there was a lot going on with Survivor Series, but there was a lot of BS going around in Survivor Series too.
There's definitely some BS we can get into here. Taco, how did you come away from Survivor Series feeling?
I absolutely loved it from start to finish. It was one of the funnest events I've seen WWE put together in such a long time, and I actually had a group of people over that night.
Nice.
And I thought every single one of them were enjoying it, and most of them weren't even into the WWE. They were more there to see a buddy of ours, Derek. He's been on the show before. So
right on.
it was really fun to get to see a couple of these people kind of geek out into this and just roast it and have fun with it. And it's like, yeah, it's the point, you guys. It's and it was a killer show for them to see. So it wasn't one of those hey guys, want to come have some snacks and watch some wrestling thing, and it being like one of those embarrassing shows where you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna remember this one either, like sorry. So it was fun.
Yeah.
It was just one of those shows, and we kind of take it for granted at times, like especially with the ending with Triple H. A lot of people are kind of butthurt over it, and he's burying the younger talent again and all this stuff, and we're so fucking, deep into the backstage politics. Like, people are, like, we work there and shit. It's like, you don't work there, like, this is one of those times where Triple H was doing that, and it was right. It was the right move to me. Like, I don't understand how people could say he's burying young talent when the youngest superstar, Braun Strowman's the one that walked out looking the strongest.
Right, Strowman was the one that beat the hell out of Triple H there at the end, so he's the one with the rub.
I would the everything in between the matches with like Nakamura and Rude and everything. I wasn't even expecting those kind of interactions with everything. Like I wasn't expecting a solid interaction with Balor and Nakamura. So it was this nice treat, and the interactions with Triple H, him having fun with the Bobby Roode stuff. It was awesome. That they had no story, they had no point of being there. They're there because they're hard hitters and they're Team SmackDown. Or they're hard hitters, they're Team Raw. So some people fucking chill out. We know what the story was. It was the stupid Shane McMahon shit. I get it, but it was a good show. Like we had great. It just started the performance. I was not disappointed with any match or anything.
Well, again, like what Taco was talking about, you in a Survivor Series match, and again, Raw versus SmackDown, you're going to get matchups that don't make sense, but they make sense in our mind. We're like, this is a feud we want to see, and maybe they're laying the groundwork, for the long con. I mean, there's tons of different combinations just standing in the ring right there. Like you said, you saw Nakamura and Balor, and you don't think we're going to get, we probably won't get to see that for, another half year to a year when they have another superstar shakeup or what it may be,
or if they ever even get to
exactly. So it's like even just these small tastes, like Taco said, it was intriguing. It was fun to see, and I think they played it out well.
I think the biggest complaint that everybody's complaining about is it's a burial of the NXT guys, getting eliminated early and without much fanfare, that kind of a thing. And that's really a Survivor Series problem that, even evident in the women's match as well, early eliminations. And that has always kind of been a problem with Survivor Series as a gimmick. It's like, well, you're going to have these awesome five-person teams or whatever loaded up with stars. Well, one team has to entirely get eliminated. So, they brought John Cena back. He came in and lost right away, and he's gone again. So,
yep.
And people are complaining about it, and I get it. Yeah, it's like, oh, you're burying these guys. You're John Cena comes back, you're burying him. Well, why not put Jinder in there? He can go in there and lose. Well, Jinder isn't going to add to the star power. What makes it intriguing is that it's a ton of stars on this thing, right? So that's the deal. And here's the other thing too. Cena loses, without much fanfare. He's not going to lose anything in the fans' eyes losing in this match. I think the same thing goes for like Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, with those two at each other's throats. I don't think they lose anything losing in this match. Again, it's an all-star type of situation. That's the issue with the Survivor Series gimmick, is that naturally people have to kind of get eliminated early and often in the thing. And you could make arguments, they should make them longer matches. This was already a really long show, and fuck it was a good show, and it was fine. Because all of these guys are stars, they don't lose anything by losing in this match.
No one looked weak, no one looked strong, but they look like stars for the bands they represented. So good show, good, and fuck them.
Agreed.
So yeah, Team Raw gets the win. Good stuff there. Lesnar versus Styles. What a fun match that was. Styles showed that he could hang in there with Lesnar. Lesnar fucking sold for Styles. Sold that the calf crusher. Limped to the back after the match. What were your thoughts on that one, Taco?
Oh man, that fight felt like a whole a big fight feel with Paul Heyman even announcing and everything. Like, fuck, man, it was just the excitement, the electricity going through the crowd. I want, it's exactly how we thought it was going to pan out. But Lesnar's longest matches.
Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, just some of the times he just chucked AJ across the fucking ring. Mm-hmm. And again, like you said, I honestly thought this was going to be the most disappointing match for me. Like that, like everybody was excited. I know what AJ can do. AJ can make anyone look like $1 million. He made Ellsworth look like a $1 million.
Yeah, the great match with Jinder.
Exactly. So to go in there and I'm sitting there and I'm watching. I'm like, Brock is just beating the shit out of him. We get to the actual match, the meat of the match, and it goes. And like you said, his selling of the calf crusher, I'll give Brock 100% credit. That was great.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh yeah, we were all questioning everything right after that. So that was. it's what he's known for. That's why he's one of the best wrestlers out there too, because he's just a monster. And from Brock Lesnar to AJ Styles was just a perfect clash up.
So kind of jumping around here, what's next for AJ Styles? It looks like Jinder is going to challenge him at Clash of Champions here in a few weeks. So we'll get to look forward to the rematch there. And, of course, all the speculation is, will Jinder win it back right away? But I'm thinking this is going to be after the India tour or the India show. It's just a show now. I don't know if that for a fact, though. I just know that Clash of Champions is in 4 weeks, and I know the India show is sometime in early December, I want to say, but it could be mid-December. I don't know at this point.
You mean? Yeah, I don't know.
All right,
nobody cares.
That's you know what that was. That was tremendous. Huh?
That is tremendous analysis.
But Lesnar was rumored to it was supposed to have a match at the Royal Rumble for the Universal title. It was supposed to be rumored to be Finn Balor. And now the Wrestling Observer is saying Finn Balor is out of that spot now, and it's going to be Braun Strowman this time taking on Lesnar for the Universal title at the next spot. So what do you guys think of that? Finn being out of the title picture for the Universal and Braun Strowman being in. Joe, what do you think?
I think it sucks. It's really bad timing considering, has he gotten his even rematch since returning.
Still hasn't had his Universal title rematch. He hasn't had that
title match, but I think it's the right decision in the sense that you've got to ride this Braun Strowman thing. He is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. People are loving him, and he can only get better by wrestling with some of these people. And I think putting two monsters who are just fucking brick shit houses and just having them run into each other over and over again. Let's see what the fuck happens.
But they just did this match a couple of months ago. They've already had this match, so
yeah, they did.
That's the thing. And I'm not complaining about Finn not being in there because I like the program with him and Samoa Joe. And the other thing, whoever is going to face Brock is probably going to lose because they're probably working towards Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the Universal title.
Shut up.
So whoever's going to face Brock at the Royal Rumble is probably going to lose. So if it's Finn and in there losing, it'd be the same dynamic of Finn versus Lesnar. It'd be the same dynamic as AJ versus Lesnar. I think it'd be a great match. Finn would look good against Lesnar, and he would lose, but come out ahead, basically having a very awesome competitive match with Lesnar. Taka, what are your thoughts on this Braun Strowman situation and Finn Balor and Lesnar and all of it?
It's have Balor feud with Joe or what? It's kind of it's so hard with where do you go with this dude? He's over as fuck right now, and everybody wants him in a main event scene, but it seems like they don't want to do anything with it. No big wins, nothing notable since his return. And then you do have Strowman, on the other hand, a no-name guy who's fucking tearing it up, made a name for himself. Fucking right now, he's the face of the WWE. If you think about it, just start off the year, it gets that factor out of the Royal Rumble to itself, so you don't have him not throwing everyone out at the Rumble.
Yeah, we'll have to see how everything shakes out. I mean, we've got a lot of time. We got no Raw pay-per-view until the Royal Rumble, and there's a lot of time between now and the Royal Rumble. And we just have the one SmackDown, one Clash of Champions here in a few weeks. So a lot of time to shuffle things around and see who's going to end up where.
I just want to point out that while it was a long pay-per-view, 10 minutes and 11 seconds of that was just for entrances for the men's Survivor Series match.
Well, what was even longer since you bring up timestamps? How about the very beginning of the show? They start with the video packages and all the video packages and all the hype and the hype train. Finally, the New Day come out, and then they cut a promo, and they're talking some more. And then they throw to another video package, and then finally the Shield come out, and then they finally start wrestling after, 20 minutes or something. It took forever to get the damn thing going at the beginning of the show. It drove me nuts. If we're complaining about timestamps,
yeah, and that's about if complaining that they're taking too long for some videos and some entrances is the worst of it. I'm pretty happy then.
Right, and they do a good job with those videos too. Anyway, but it was just a little much, just cramming all of that at the beginning of the show, I thought. We were talking about Roman Reigns there, building up to him and in the main event of WrestleMania. The Shield versus the New Day opened up the show on Survivor Series.
Great choice.
Good match. Yeah, I enjoyed the late sequences in the match. The double midnight hour was a little botchy in there. Where Big E had both of the guys on his shoulders and the other guy comes off the top for like the midnight hour or whatever. But other than that, a good opener. Decent opener. The triple power bomb from the second rope. The Shield get the win. So momentum behind Roman Reigns, of course, moving into Monday, faces The Miz for the Intercontinental title. Man, Reigns was over on Monday. How about that? That crowd was They were behind Roman Reigns. I think that's because this feels like a good spot for Roman Reigns in the IC picture. Elevate that title. The way he celebrated with the title, it wasn't. Remember when he had the U.S. title and he would just kind of drag it around behind him and didn't give a fuck about it. This time he celebrated with the title. It looked like it was something that he wanted and enjoyed being a part of. So, and the crowd was into it too. So, how do you feel, Taco, about Roman Reigns in this situation?
Yeah, talk about burying young talent, and then fast forward to Monday Night Raw. I'm not necessarily for it, but I guess Miz is dipping out to go film Marine 6.
Yep.
So cool. Hey, at least they waited till after he lost the championship to announce that, so that was nice of them.
Yeah. But what do you do? I don't know.
It's gonna be cool for the pop to get some gold on the Shield and everything, but. Fuck! Why doesn't Balor in the Intercontinental title scene or something? He needs some street cred right now in the WWE besides Bray Wyatt and Elias.
Joe, what do you think of Reigns with the IC title?
I mean, like you guys said, I mean, it fits him a little bit better. He seems to enjoy it a little bit more, and I think it's just the satisfaction of he's riding the high of the Shield, and just this thing with the Miz and the Miz Taraj has just been. It's been blowing everything up. Miz has just been on fire, and whether or not you agree with the fact that like you didn't want Miz to lose, like you said, he's going to go film Marine 6, and then it's probably going to roll over into his maternity leave.
Double yup.
It's going to roll into his maternity leave, and then basically he's going to be gone for like a year. So imagine the return for the Miz, like when he comes back. That's what he's setting up.
That'll be huge, actually. Go ahead, Taco.
It's not that I didn't want Miz to lose or not. Lose the match. It's just that's not what Reigns needs right now. He's over as it is. You got a couple of these guys just kind of floating around, but and that would have been a good win for someone to fucking get on. As I hate to say, put on Jason Jordan, make him look credible.
I don't know. The Jason Jordan thing isn't working, but finally we're getting hints of him turning heel. I'm interested to see how that works for Jason Jordan. But back to Roman, you said
I'm just throwing just a quick, a quick name out, but it's Reigns. I mean, cool. He's part of the Grand Slam Club now. Yay, good for him. But
which that's bullshit too. Roman's never had the Universal title. The Universal title started with Finn Balor, then it went to Kevin Owens, then it from Goldberg won it from Kevin Owens, and then Brock
WWE champ.
Brock won it from Goldberg. So he's never had the Universal title. This Grand Slam thing is horseshit. Anyway,
they consider WWE and Universal the same.
Well, they can shove it.
Because Ambrose is a Grand Slam too.
It's all bullshit. They're going to get all these sound bites. They're going to.
What else?
They're going to get all of it.
We had enough of you talking that flim flam.
But who?
Booty chatter. What does that mean?
Okay.
But whoever takes the championship off Reigns, he's going to be, a strong face right now. So, that is going to be a good win for whoever hill that's going to take that from. So, I do see that coming down the road.
Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss from Survivor Series. I really enjoyed this match. Good selling from Charlotte. Not a dull moment in the match, I thought. Charlotte nods to Alexa Bliss after the match, showing her a little glimpse of respect. So maybe some hinting here that Alexa Bliss may be turning babyface. We haven't gotten into the news, some of the big news from Raw, with Paige making her big return with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I kind of want to save that to talk about that in the bigger picture, but I really enjoyed the Charlotte versus Bliss matchup from Survivor Series. Taco, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, the match was a little slow at first, but not in a bad way. But it definitely kept steadily picking up till the end of the match there. And yeah, good show from these ladies. I know a lot of people get skeptical about it, but good show. Joe?
This was actually one of my top matches of the night, just because of the aspect of Alexa Bliss, the goddess versus the queen of SmackDown. Honestly, Alexa Bliss was perfect, like, in this match for me. Like, everything she did was spot on. She was ready to go. She was talking shit the entire match.
Yeah.
She was playing the part that she's been doing. She's just been, again, she's like a woman version of Miz, honestly. She's just been on a fucking roll. She doesn't have to put on, technically phenomenal matches, but she does what she needs to do and then hits those high spots. And I didn't think she was going to look that good with Charlotte Flair. They haven't had much experience with each other, minus some, a little bit of NXT, I believe. And yeah, like I said, one of the top matches of the night for me.
It's an interesting point because I keep hearing other people talking about, and it's the internet and, of course, all the negativity that comes into play there. But I keep hearing this idea that Alexa Bliss isn't that good in the ring. And yes, she's newer in the ring, but I just don't see it. Every time she's in there, I enjoy it. I don't get taken out of the moment by little green moments or whatever like that. Like when I'm watching Nia Jax or Tamina or a bunch of other women on the roster. She's
also probably the smallest person on the whole WWE roster, so she kind of has to play that chicken shit role a little bit,
right? But
she does have a big banger like that. She does look legit.
Right, and my point is, I think what she does in the ring looks good. So I don't get this. I mean, maybe I'm just missing something, but that's fine.
I think we're all missing it
because I enjoy what Alexa Bliss is bringing to the table. Since we teased it just a moment ago, we got to talk the Paige coming back and returning with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. A lot to digest here. So
right.
it was a 4-way number 1 contenders match with Mickie James, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Alicia Fox. Paige comes out to a roar of cheers and introduces these 2 others from NXT, and they attack everybody. They attack Alexa Bliss in the back, further cementing, or maybe not cementing isn't the right word, but further nudging Alexa Bliss to the babyface side of things anyway. Although, here's the thing. I don't necessarily take this emergence of Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville as a heel thing or as a bad girl thing or a bad guy thing, whatever you want to call it, because it feels so fresh. And the crowd was hot for it because they're kind of tired of the same. If you keep throwing all of the women.
Division needed it.
Well, here's what I'm getting to my point here is that they keep throwing all of the women out there every week. And so that gets old. And so when you throw in 3 new women to come beat up all the women that have been thrown out there every week, it's like, yes, you're getting rid of the same shit that we're seeing all the time. So,
but they're gonna put them in a rumble match to face the 3 women in a normal tag match.
Oh, I'm so confused with what you just said. I heard Rumble match and my gears started grinding. Like a women's Royal Rumble. We'll get to that rumor here in a minute, but.
What does that mean?
So with the WWE logic, they're just going to have a normal Rumble match for the ladies to determine which 3 will face these new 3 set of ladies for a normal tag match.
I'm still so confused.
I get it, Taco.
All right. What do you mean like a
WWE logic?
What do you mean by a normal Rumble match?
I'm saying they always throw ladies out in those Rumble matches to determine a number 1 contender every other week.
A fatal 5, 6, 7, or 8-way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just no Ellsworth this time.
Okay. So what do you think about Sonya Deville and Ha Clinton Dix coming
Mandy
up?
Rose.
Mandy Rose.
What a shit episode.
This thing has fallen off the rails like 100 times.
Pretty bad.
This is in the Hall of Fame of shit shows. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville is surprising. We haven't seen Mandy Rose at all, so we have no idea what we're getting here. I've heard good rumors of things on the house shows from Mandy Rose. Other than that, we haven't seen her, so I think it would be unfair for us to criticize her yet when we don't know what we're getting into here. But we've seen Sonya Deville. I think she has improved as of late, but by no means do I think she's ready for the main roster, Joe.
I kind of agree with you, but it's kind of one of those things, like you said, we're sick of seeing the same women over and over again on Raw. It's kind of like, you know what? Get up there. Let's see what we can do. Like throw some of these women to the fire, the same way, that technically like even American Alpha and all them, we didn't expect them to get drafted when they did, and they came up and started tearing shit up. They just need to establish that, whether we're going to have to see what the in-ring work is going to look like. One thing I got to ask, is Mandy Rose the one that Corey Graves used to just lose his mind over in NXT?
Well, first it was Eva Marie, and then Eva Marie left, and then it became Mandy Rose. Like that was like right after Tough Enough.
I really want that to come back.
Right, and he even,
it already is.
Yeah, he even teased that a little bit on commentary. But yeah, Taco, how do you feel about these two coming up to the main roster?
I'm not mad at it. It's women's division needs fodder, like I hate to say it that way, like these ladies are being given they got a ticket straight up. That's what it is. And but with there's no rotating table. It's always the same, pretty much couple ladies in the same feuds for a whole year. So, well, fucking years at this point. So how many, you can only shake up so many times and introduce one superstar at a time. Well, what's more of a shake up than just slapping, 3 new superstars in there to shake shit up? And, we get stables, in the ladies division like that, but it's always the same group, just a slightly different name.
Yeah, and you run the risk of, remember when they first introduced the women's revolution, and it was the same thing. They brought up 3 women, but put them into 3 different teams of 3, basically. So you kind of run the risk of when you bring up a bunch at once or several at once, it's hard for one of them to stand out as special. And
I like these daring moves like that. It's like give them a shot like there. It's like, you want to be a star? This is why you're here. Well, fucking go for it, and sink or swim.
The actual match from Survivor Series, Asuka getting the win, the sole survivor of Monday Night Raw. Yes. That was the right decision, obviously, but there's definitely you could have some criticisms of Bayley pinning Becky Lynch really early in the match. Tamina eliminating Bayley pretty quickly. I
had no problem with the Becky Lynch part.
I'm hanging on to Becky Lynch. I hung on to Bayley forever, but I very recently gave up on Bayley. The booking failing me over and over again. I'm still hanging on to Becky Lynch. I still have faith that she is my hero for the SmackDown Women's Division, but she gets pinned early. Tamina then eliminates Bayley with the splash pretty early, and then they do this really odd Tamina-Nia Jax face-off like it's, oh my god, it's the most amazing thing that we've been waiting to see forever. Nobody gave a fuck. It's just like, my god, these 2 klutzes are in there going at it. It was pretty awful. Nia ends up getting counted out in the thing. Alicia Fox and Naomi botch a whole bunch of spots, which was surprising because I like Alicia Fox. I like Naomi. You think they're both so athletic, but they just weren't. They were just not on the same page, unfortunately. So they botch a bunch of stuff. Fox gets eliminated on a weird 2-count thing that was supposed to go into a submission. That was all botched. Then Banks eliminates Naomi quickly with the Banks statement. Then Asuka, of course, eliminates Carmella. Natalya takes out Banks. Asuka, like we said, eliminates everybody, wins with the Asuka lock. That was the right move. The follow-up on Raw with Asuka just beating the snot out of Dana Brooke was great. So that was a good thing.
You can tell Dana's been working out. All about sets and reps.
So, but Taco, what were your thoughts on kind of the middle of the meat and potatoes? We touched on what you're going to get in a Survivor Series match earlier, where you're going to get some early eliminations that you don't like. That was certainly the case for me here. But what were your thoughts, Taco?
Yeah, I know a lot of people were butthurt over the Becky Lynch being pinned so quick like that, but it was a good move because it was so shocking. Like everyone thought it was gonna be like she was gonna be fucking just tearing it up, and it's gonna be awesome to see her and Asuka in there. But we didn't get that, so that they have a secret weapon in their back pocket with that Becky Lynch and Asuka card still there.
No, they don't.
So.
All right, moving on. The bar versus the Usos, champs versus champs.
Match of the fucking night.
I loved this match. This was very good. Great Uso promo again on the way to the ring. Big Samoan drop off of Cesaro's shoulders onto Sheamus for a late near fall in the match. We had a super kick party in the match. Are the Young Bucks going to send the cease and desist letter to WWE? That's what I want to know.
I hope it's in crayon.
What's that, Taco? I missed that.
I hope it's in crayon.
Yeah, fun match. What were your thoughts, Joe?
The aggressiveness, both teams.
Yeah.
We knew the bar was coming in aggressive, and we knew the Usos can be aggressive, but like I thought they were going to take the finesse route, the Usos route, of like using the high flying, using the speed, but they were just beating the hell out of each other. And again, Usos impressed me. Like, they are my top tag team, when it comes to both brands at this point. Shield, New Day, all that. Usos are just fucking on a roll. Promos, they're on the roll in the ring. It don't matter. I want to see them in Breezango. I want to see them in Ascension. I don't care who they face as long as I get to watch the Usos.
Taco?
Yeah, I never thought I'd say that the Usos are one of my favorite tag teams right now.
Yeah, what a big turnaround.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Just let alone think that Sheamus and Cesaro would be a great tag team and have fucking, match after match. Fucking. So yeah, this whole match was just fucking phenomenal, start to finish. And I absolutely loved that dive outside to tag his brother in, and towards the end of the match there, and. Ooh, when he kind of scorpioned into that announcer's table, that was kind of rough, but worth it.
All right. Well, the only match other than the pre-show match that we haven't touched on is the Miz versus Baron Corbin match. And so, on that note,
Change the subject.
Let's talk about the rest of Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
You better be drumming.
What?
Yeah, Joe definitely did his air drumming, but I don't know if Taco did. So yeah, Monday Night Raw. Curt Angle has got all kinds of issues going on. He's got tension between Triple H and Stephanie, the Authority, the Jason
knee issues,
the Jason Jordan thing's going on. Yes, his entire upper leg was taped off. But then the Strowman stuff in there too as well. Strowman, it's more Strowman and Triple H tension in there. But
how do you guys feel about that?
Strowman and Triple H?
Yes, I'm not mad at it.
Absolutely not.
I think it'll be fun. It'll get.
I want a sledgehammer broken over Strowman's back and him just be like, huh?
Hey, he survived a garbage truck. I think he can take a sledgehammer.
Exactly.
So that'll be good. And then the Jason Jordan stuff. Jason Jordan turning heel slightly. He's certainly being very whiny and annoying. So I like where this is going better than keeping the dad-son dynamic going on. What do you think, Joe?
Oh, I give zero shits about this. I cannot believe. Again, I couldn't believe that it was Jason Jordan in the first fucking place that they decided to work this. I mean, I get it because of the wrestling background, but that's it. That's all we got. And he had no promo experience. He's nowhere near anything that Curt Angle has ever done, even in his early part of his career. This did nothing for Jason Jordan.
Well, and the promos that they're giving him, I mean, it's worded in, of course, that really unnatural WWE style, but you take that and throw it in a guy with like Jason Jordan, who is not a good actor and not a good deliverer of lines, and it's just a shit show. His promos are just god awful. So there's that.
It's been David Otunga the whole time.
Yeah. So we're being very complaining here. But what do you think of so we got the Braun Triple H angle as well as the Braun Kane angle. We had the Jason Jordan match that turned into Braun just beating the shit out of Jason Jordan, but then Kane coming out, attacking Braun with a chair, chairing him in the throat basically, and Braun selling the crap out of that all the way to the back. So we've got this continuation with Kane here. I imagine, like I said, we've got a lot of time between now and the Royal Rumble, so we've got some...
is that their next pay-per-view, technically?
Yeah, because the next, the only one between is Clash of Champions,
Jeez.
And that's a SmackDown one.
A couple of big breaks there, but that's good for the talent.
And it's the holiday season, too, so, it kind of is what it is.
One thing I want to ask you about Braun Strowman, with the way he talked to Triple H, what do you think, like, Thanksgiving dinner at Braun's house is going to be like? Pass the mashed potatoes!
Pretty much. That's the thing I kind of worry about with Braun, too.
Just get here!
Is that he's very one-dimensional, right? There's not much. He's just a big brute that yells a lot. So his promos can't really be much, and they're certainly not introspective.
But the promos he drops it's perfect, though. It's like, it's the shit that Ryback should have essentially been doing, but he
not like most men.
Yeah, you're right, though.
Like,
yeah.
Just like the whole story, like him at Survivor Series was just so perfect. Like, Triple H turning on him and that confused look on his face of like, the fuck?
We were supposed to be friends.
Right? It's just like, and then like just him having Triple H in the corner and that fucking look of fear in Triple H's eyes was like, that's not the game I know. And then like just everything was, I love the ending of that. I don't know, like boggles my mind why people were so mad about it, because it's just like Triple H, sold Braun Strowman so much in that fucking little interaction there. I'm still on this Braun train. Like, yeah, it's one dimensional, but it's like, it's bad guy. It's the super villain. He's the ultimate boss. Like, you don't fuck with me. Why the fuck did you fuck with me? Like, I love it.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff. We talked about the Samoa Joe Finn Balor situation, but not this match from Monday Night Raw yet. Quite the match, but Samoa Joe comes off very dominant in the match and ends up winning the match with the Coquina Clutch, not tapping out Finn, but Finn passing out and the referee stopping it. So him saving a bit of face there without the pro wrestling trope of if you tap out, you're some kind of a giant loser if you tap out. So
bitch. Which I'm against.
Thank you.
No, like I do wish people did tap out, because it's not a bitch move, honestly. Like MMA, it's not a bitch thing to do that in MMA. Right. And then you have like Brock Lesnar out there. I like the choke outs on some occasions, but I also wouldn't mind, someone having a super competitive match and then getting caught and tapping out. Like, it doesn't make them a bitch, like. So it's just like, oh, good, I want to see more of this. But they also have to tell that story of grappling in the ring too.
Right. So does this loss from Finn here to Samoa Joe? You take the Kane loss from a few weeks back, him losing kind of quickly in the Survivor Series match. Is Finn losing something, or is it just Vince McMahon trying to bury a small guy?
That's a possibility. Vince McMahon burying him. I mean, he's not even that fucking small. Come on, like
he's pretty small, dude.
It's fucking Finn Balor, man. I mean, you've seen what he can do in the ring. You've seen him take on like all challenges that are thrown at him. I mean, for fuck's sakes, in that championship match, watch him pop that thing back into his fucking socket and finish the match.
He didn't tip over an ambulance, Joe.
You know what? I didn't think of that.
But here's the thing: is I don't like. I asked the question because I don't think he's losing anything with fans yet. He's still over just as much as like an AJ Styles is. Like AJ Styles lost clean to Baron Corbin last month, and or whatever it was, a couple of months ago. And here he is, with the championship now on a hell of a run, coming off a hell of a match with Brock Lesnar. So I don't think Finn is losing anything to the fans yet. Go ahead,
the majority of his fans are the diehard core fans that know who the fuck he is, and then you do have the fans that found him through WWE, and there's no reason to drop him. There's nothing major that has happened, so it's just unfortunately he's in a bland spot.
I just think they have nothing for him.
Yeah. I don't want to say that. I'm hoping it's just one of those kind of things where they're trying to put us in the mindset of not in his winning ways. We want him in that championship pictures, but he's not getting there. Rumble's around the corner, so that just leaves that possibility of him kind of getting some energy back, if not winning the fucking thing. How great would that be? Like like I said on a podcast a couple episodes ago that I have gender pegged winning the thing. I still kind of do, but I also want to, like Balor needs to win. Like someone surprising needs to fucking win it this year. They fucking have to. And with how Survivor Series turned out, they are giving us fucking good shit. It's just we got to take our minds out of the back room a little bit.
Right.
And we got to wait for the long picture, and that's kind of the beauty of the whole New Japan thing is we can't really put ourselves in the back room because we don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Well, and they tell better stories that are more predictable, but what is enjoyable mostly of New Japan is what's happening in the ring, the match itself.
Exactly.
So
it's just completely different product. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. I have some hopes for Royal Rumble after how Survivor Series turned out, and it's just Survivor Series. There was a fucking point where they didn't have a Survivor Series, so it was nice to see that they actually brought it back and are making a thing out of it. I want this to be a continuous thing, this Raw versus SmackDown, champion versus champion thing. As long as they're going to do this brand split gig.
Yeah, right on. I think it's a cool thing to do once a year, and you get intriguing matchups of guys that you haven't seen around each other a lot. So I think it'd be better. I think if there was something more on the line for the individual Survivor Series matches, some sort of the winning team gets a better spot in the Royal Rumble or something like that.
They get the number 30 spot, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it'd be nice if they could raise the stakes so that there's actually something to fight for instead of just bragging rights, basically, as I alluded to last week. Other stuff from Raw, we didn't really talk cruiserweight stuff. Of course, Enzo retained on the pre-show versus Kalisto. We got a big multi-man tag match on Monday Night Raw, which is always very exciting and usually unexpected.
Oh no! A brawl's broken out. Didn't see this one coming.
What?
Battling it out of the ring.
You didn't see it coming.
Chaos.
But Taco, I'm gonna throw to you on this because you're the purveyor of positivity when it comes to the cruiserweight division. I just can't get into the Enzo thing. I haven't been able to get into 205 Live. So who's the next cruiserweight contender for Enzo here? I mean, obviously we got the rumors. Well, not rumors. The Hideo Itami is coming. So that adds a little bit of interest there. But he hasn't done a ton on NXT in the last, I don't know, pretty much since he's showed up at NXT.
Yeah, he did the Cassius Ono thing, but that's about it.
But yeah, he's been riddled with injury issues, so we'll see how he does here. But Taco, hit me with some positivity, please.
I'm still trying to look out for the best. It was kind of funny watching the Survivor Series with some non-wrestling fans because one of them pointed out during the AJ Styles Lesnar match, like, is there no weight class in this shit? Like, he's way bigger. I was like, well, no. Well, I guess they do have a weight class. 205 is just cruiserweights, but that's it. So, but, it's just, I feel like it's only been a year with these guys. They're still, look at Drew Gulak over the year. Like, he to me is still the best thing on 205. And fucking, I gotta watch any clip that has his name strapped to it, and him and the Enzo pair is fucking, it's brilliant. Like, it's making me into this Enzo mess because it's adding a good balance of like, you're fucking stupid and you're just fucking ignorant, but it works together.
I have been entertained by the Gulak Enzo combo a bit here, so that's kind of been one of the nice things from 205.
I think the bigger
go ahead.
Oh, it's just it's nice, kind of jumping to SmackDown a little bit with like who was it? Shane that said like you guys are like Enzo, no one likes you, blah blah blah. I kind of kept going off, so they kind of need to incorporate that, the online play a little bit more, especially if you're promoting Twitter so much. You need to be using it. That's a free tool for you guys right now, and don't tout it, tweet it. Fuck. You ready to have it just works that way, and it's been really awesome to see that. And Enzo's like using. He's using it to his prime. He's hitting Instagram hard. He's hitting Twitter up hard. He's, getting these celebrities and, bullshitting with them. And that's his gimmick. That's his thing. He's the Jersey dude. That's what they do. They spend money and party and brag, and somehow they fucking win when they shouldn't be winning.
Joe, what were you going to say there?
I was going to say, I'll join Taco in this sense on the positivity train. I'll push them towards you that the bigger the outfit Enzo wears, I think the more entertaining I find him, for one. And two, not that he's anywhere near the caliber of Seth Rollins, but in the same aspect of how we were talking about, we needed Seth Rollins as that chicken shit heel with his authority run a while back. I think Enzo is that kind of champion. He's that chicken shit heel. He's going to keep winning. And I like that little bit that we did. We were even watching with that bit, the fact that Enzo's got 4 guys fighting basically for him on his side, and he's standing outside the ring laughing at him, wearing his giant leopard trench coat and just doing his thing, being an ass. I think it can work, but we need to establish some of these other guys. We need to get some, Mustafa Ali. He's been slowly building. He's very active on Twitter. I've been impressed with his matches, but he hasn't had that, big, rivalry, and I think he needs that next push.
And I like his gimmick too. I don't even know if you'd call it a gimmick, but the idea that he's not the typical WWE foreign menace gimmick because he has the name Mustafa Ali. He's just a guy from Chicago. I like that. He can be just a guy from Chicago. I like that part about him too. I'd like to see him elevated to the championship picture. I feel like they were kind of elevating Cedric Alexander a little bit, but he got caught up in the Jack Gallagher and Rich Swann storyline.
Well, I felt like Mustafa Ali was too, but I think he pushed it a little too hard with his Twitter feuds I've seen, because he got into it with what's his name? Mr. 450 is all I can remember, but him using one of Mustafa Ali's moves on the indies, or him using the other thing. He's been getting into Twitter battles with people, and I think that actually might have hurt him a little bit, just because he responds pretty negatively when it comes to that stuff. So, what can you do?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's move on. Let's talk some SmackDown, shall we? If I get my business in order here.
Change the subject. SmackDown Live.
I can be a superhero.
I'm going to make this a tag team match.
Secret.
So the main story from SmackDown was about Shane. He wants to fire Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for ruining SmackDown's Survivor Series chances at victory. And so he wants to fire them right away. Daniel Bryan doesn't want to. Let's throw them in a match. So they have the match, and then fucking Clinton Dix. Shane's like, fine, I'm going to go back to the hotel room and kick my feet up, and then you can fire him after the match, Daniel. They go out there and they win the lumberjack match after it was so WWE. It's like they got all the lumberjacks there at ringside, and of course,
Oh no! A brawl's broken out. Didn't see this one coming. Battling it out of the
You
ring.
didn't see it coming.
Chaos.
So the brawl breaks out, and that leads to the heels being able to get the win with the most devastating move in professional wrestling, the schoolboy roll-up, and Zayn and Owens get the win. And then New Day triple team on Sami Zayn after the match. They just beat the shit out of Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens gets the fuck out of there, hightails it. So possible tension between these two again already. But yeah, Daniel Bryan doesn't fire them, but he puts Owens in a match with Randy Orton next week. So we're teasing all of this tension going back to Survivor Series. Stephanie talking to Daniel Bryan saying, what if Shane is completely out of the picture and you're completely in charge of SmackDown? And then Daniel Bryan standing up to Shane here and saying, no, we're not going to fire these two guys. We're going to keep them and put them in a match. And then we're going to put Kevin Owens in a match next week. I'm not going to fire him. So we got the tension between Clinton Dix, Shane McMahon, and Daniel Bryan. So one of these guys is going to turn heel at some point. Do you think they will? Is it even possible to turn Daniel Bryan heel at this point? I think the crowd would just reject it. What do you think, Joe?
I think it'd be just like Daniel Bryan back in the day. The guy jumped back and forth. All it takes is him taking one word and going absolutely backwards on it. No. No.
I don't know. I think it's going to, whatever he does is going to get over. Although he is good at being a heel. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Taco?
It's gonna be like when Eddie tried to turn heel again. People are all like, "Yay!" It's like, no, I'm bad, you guys, and it just didn't work out that way. So, but I don't know. It'd be a nice change of pace, but I don't know. Was he gonna like start shopping at Hot Topic instead of American Outfitters or what? Like,
I'm completely lost on that reference. But what if it's the other way around? What if it's, I mean, this is kind of how I feel like Shane's being the heel in the situation a little bit.
oh, totally. Like
So-
his
But
dad.
that's how I feel that they're gonna honey dick you, and the fact that Shane McMahon won't turn heel and Daniel Bryan's gonna make he's gonna make the Shield move and just stab Shane in the back at some point.
He already had it planned.
I keep fantasizing, what if Shane actually fires them and either they go to Raw or go back to the indie scene? You know, we had that tease a couple of weeks ago where they left the European tour and had to go back home, and everybody immediately started fantasizing, ooh, what if they go back to Ring of Honor and New Japan and blah 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 blah. So
Yeah, it'll totally happen.
Right. And it was dumb too, because it was all like Dave Meltzer had a throwaway line on one of his podcasts, and the internet took off with it. He's like, they could come back this week, they could come back in a month, they may never come back. And he moved on, and that was how he said it. And then Dave Meltzer said they're never going to come back, and so then the internet went crazy. I just thought it was hilarious. Anyway,
Fucking bitches.
so yeah, I like that whole storyline. Very intrigued by it, even though Shane's promos are a shit show. But there's that. Other big story, we talked about the NXT women coming up onto Raw. We got more NXT women coming up to SmackDown. Ruby Riott leads Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. They first beat up Naomi and Becky Lynch in the back, and then they interrupt the Charlotte versus Natalya women's title match later on in the show. So immediately I'm thinking, why isn't Ruby Riott hanging out with Paige? Because they're like, they look like they would get along. Basically, they look like they would hang out and like the same types of music and get into the same types of things. Although maybe
That's
not
profiling.
It really is, but because they're both pale white chicks. It's
true.
Because actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Paige is more like the partier. I don't give a fuck and whatever. And whereas Ruby Riott's more the punk rock, straight edge kind of a thing.
Punch
Possibly
you in the face.
Right. So they're probably completely different, actually. But on the surface level, on the Vince McMahon level, on the completely not thinking about it level, that was the vibe I got. But so, what do you think here? Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, of all people, coming up. Liv Morgan, Carmella Light, basically. Sarah Logan, who we have.
They're already calling each other out on Twitter.
Oh, nice. That actually could be kind of fun.
Be interesting.
How about them as a team? That could be interesting. So Taco, we'll start with you. How do you feel about all of this? We haven't seen a ton from Sarah Logan at NXT, but we know she had an indie career before going to NXT too. So some experience there. Of course, Ruby Riott definitely had the experience. So what do you think there, Taco?
Yeah, just like the Raw Page situation, I'm not mad at this. It's just Ruby Riott's obviously the well experienced one out of the three, I'd assume. So get some more names out there, mixes things up. It's kind of what's needed now. Now, is everything connected? Kind of hope so, because if they just had Raw and SmackDown both do an invasion angle with three separate ladies that three separate that aren't connected.
Right,
it's kind of lazy, but
they here's the thing: is with them both doing this, they both should be representing some sort of team, like NXT invading, actually, or something along those lines. Because if they don't, it just looks like really lazy writing. It's like, we're gonna have three women come up on Raw and beat everybody up. Let's do the same thing on SmackDown.
And that's what I felt like happened. I mean, I'm not disappointed again. That I want to see some more ladies up. We need a little bit more of a mixture, and they are interesting choices. Whereas Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott, like you said, they have the experience. I feel like Liv Morgan is a go for it. We're going to see what you got, because she's been in I was reading she was in a developmental for a couple of years now, down in NXT. So I really think this is the ride or die situation for her. They're just throwing her up there like, look, we've given you the shot. You've obviously got some in-ring experience. Let's see what you can do in front of a big crowd and on national television.
And I want to say the last couple of times I've seen her on NXT definitely improved. She's been working harder. So all good signs there. And I'm very excited to see what they do here. In contrast to the Raw invasion, though, from the women, this one definitely felt more like heels to me, or more like people that you don't like. And maybe it was just me. But what were your thoughts on this one, Joe?
I actually thought, honestly, they both felt heelish to me.
Okay.
While Paige, yes, is going to be over because everybody's just like, oh my God, Paige is back. Oh my God, I need this.
Yeah.
It's still the way she delivered it, and the fact that the two came out from the back and beat the shit out of everybody the way they did. She came down, she hit her finisher on fucking Bailey for no reason. She's just looking up and staring. And the same thing with Ruby Riott. They're attacking in the back. They're ruining a championship match. They're going, what's the name there in Ring of Honor? They're ruining everything.
Oh, the addiction, yeah.
They're basically addictioning everybody, but I can't be mad. Like I said, it's an influx of talent, and I actually thought Ruby Riott was going to go up fast at this rate because she wasn't really technically getting any chances down there. It was really just working with different girls.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about this week's NXT because we're actually recording it before it airs, but it felt like they were getting ready to ramp her up maybe on the NXT show, maybe get a future title shot. But obviously with her moving up to the main roster, that's not happening.
Still plenty of contenders down there.
Yeah, exactly. There's no shortage there. I had another point. Now I lost it here. I guess it doesn't matter. Taco, anything else on the women here?
No, I guess I agree with Joe. I felt like the whole Paige situation too. Alexa was kind of looking a little bit babyface in the back room there, and I hope it's not lazy writing, but I like the shake up. I like the chances that they're taking, and good for Ruby Riott too, man.
I don't think they're done either, honestly. I think that we could see some males. I think this is just they wanted to really highlight the women right now. I think we could see some other call-ups just spread and sprinkled out before Royal Rumble at this point.
Couple other interesting matchups from SmackDown. Shelton Benjamin versus Jey Uso. A good match, nice TV match. It kind of keeps this feud going. Shelton Benjamin, of course, got the win with pay dirt after a little bit of a distraction there. But yeah, with him getting the win over one of the Usos, that keeps that thing going. So we'll get to see another match between those teams for the titles at some point. And we had the debut, finally, of the Bludgeon Brothers. I thought they had decent entrance music.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I enjoyed Harper slapping Rowan going into their finish. Other than that, I like the gear. What were your thoughts on the Bludgeon Brothers finally making the debut, Taco?
Oh, I totally enjoyed it. I'm excited to see what these two dudes do. As like not Wyatt family now. They officially dropped the first names, it looks like, too, so it's just Harper and Rowan now.
Right, except Tom Phillips kept saying the first names all over commentary, but I'm sure he'll get chastised for that, and there won't be that anymore. What did you think of the Bludgeon Brothers, Joe?
I mean, it is what it is. I'm glad they faced a team that technically has experience. They didn't have, a squash match against, some local jobbers, because, I mean, we know who Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are.
And the Hype Bros are already losers.
Exactly. So why worry about it? But what did I say? I saw a tweet that because they were talking about the name and they were making fun of him, but we should call him Eric Bludgeon and Luke Bludgeon.
Eric and Luke Bludgeon. All right, that's awesome. Let's get in the Wayback Machine and rewind all the way to Saturday. Let's talk NXT Takeover. Oops, I hit the wrong fucking thing there.
Hit the right one.
Change the subject. NXT.
This was an amazing show. Like, watching this was like, oh man, it feels good to watch pro wrestling and be a pro wrestling fan. This was just an all-around, entertaining, enjoyable 2.5 hour pro wrestling show. Awesome stuff. Let's start with that main event, the War Games match. Joe, I want to start with you because you were being a WCW guy. No roof on the cage.
Slightly disappointing.
But what were your thoughts on that?
I thought they took advantage of every single thing they could in that ring. It didn't play out like I said, hoping that Adam Cole was going to be by himself with 4 dudes that want to beat the shit out of him. But we still got those moments, and I think, honestly, Authors of Pain came out of this thing looking super fucking strong. Just taking on anybody. The face-offs between, Killian Dane and one of them, that was probably one of my favorite parts of the match, them looking at each other from the middle of each ring and just being like, yeah, let's fucking do this right now.
Well, and then when they came in, they just start throwing guys around, throwing guys from one ring to another.
Well, and again, like they talk about the chaos, and again, you saw even in the old videos, weapons and everything. You're just like, well, what the fuck's going to go on here? Killian Dane comes out, just chucking things in there. Let's just get a couple tables in there. I'm just like, oh, so that explains that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was played out just beautifully. It made every team honestly look strong. Roderick Strong looked great in this match.
Yeah.
I didn't mind even him. I was about to say, I didn't mind him putting on the helmet. I hated Curt Angle in the Shield vest more than I hated like this. It just felt okay to me. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, I give it like a solid 4.5 stars on the Tommy New Japan scale.
It was hot. Regarding the roof not being, I was disappointed when I heard that, but then when they explained the actual rules that the guys on the stage are going to be in their own individual cages, so they won't be able to get in before they're let out. But then the idea that if you escape the cage, you lose the match. So I love that. That should be every fucking cage match.
Yes.
There shouldn't be an escape clause in a cage match. If you escape, you lose. That should be how it works. You have to stay in the cage to get the win. So I loved that rule. So that completely made up for no roof, and then obviously made for the possibility of having awesome big high spots in the match, doing the big suplex off the top of the cage. Adam Cole crawling along the top of the cage, just trying to get away from the chaos. I really enjoyed that much of it. Fucking the guy from Sanity,
Killian Dane or Taco.
Clinton Dix.
Clinton Dix.
We haven't actually played
the German.
Clinton Dix.
Well, getting back to the other, Killian Dane anyway, he looked great in the match. But
my absolute favorite, like that whole fucking match, he's just spot on everything he did. Like,
Alexander Wolf is who I was thinking
There we
of.
go.
He did that spot where they did was it a suplex or whatever?
German suplex.
Through the table, and he busts open the back of his head, and he's bleeding everywhere. It was just like a classic War Games. Guys were bleeding. There was weapons. It was bedlam. It was insanity. And so I thought it was just a lot of fun. Undisputed Era getting the win. Cole
pinning Eric Young, right?
Pinning Eric Young, yep, with the Shining Wizard into a chair. Lots of fun. Go ahead.
My biggest beef though is Adam Cole actually trying to escape and having his legs out of the cage.
Yeah,
it was chicken shittish for me if he was going to win the match anyways. Like, I get it. He's a smaller guy and he does stuff like that and shtick a little bit, but having his whole body out like it was kind of like, well, then eliminate him. Like, bye, see ya. Like, right. Obviously he doesn't want to wrestle, man. Like, so that's the only time I was disappointed with that whole situation. But this being my first real War Games watching, oh god damn, it was so fucking fun, the start to finish, and just the 2 rings seems kind of silly, but I definitely helped keep shit split up and kind of keep it clean too a little bit until when they finally brought the other tables in. I wish there was more cameras in there too.
Oh yeah, that bothered me. And they're
especially when he was in the middle where Adam Cole was in between the 2 rings and he tried to get both of the spots there. Just focus on one dude. There'll be other cameras set up, and he missed he fucked up a really bad camera spot to me.
Here's the thing, and that's a WWE thing too. They have this phobia or this idea that you can't see the cameraman. If you see the cameraman, that's bad for some fucking reason. So they have they got one guy in the cage right in the middle, but it's like they refuse to do a wide shot of both rings. They would do a hard cam shot of one ring and a hard cam shot of another ring, but they would very rarely just zoom out and get the whole fucking thing in there. And so
we live in a world with crazy fucking technology. It's like we have small enough cameras we can fucking station them in.
Well, yeah,
those kind of contraptions.
And they're just too scared for some reason of showing cameramen, and just get over that phobia. I don't care about the cameramen. I just want to see the best angle to see the wrestling, see what's going on in the ring. So whatever.
Hey, one thing I did like about the two ring deal is the fact that they were switching each match. I just enjoyed that one for the fact that, again, it's probably just easier for them because they can change the mat and everything like that. But two, that gives something for the crowd, like the people who bought the tickets that are behind it.
That's why they did it, yeah.
And which is absolutely okay. But I just like it looked cool switching back and forth.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre versus Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship.
Did not disappoint.
Very, very good match. I thought Drew McIntyre looked like a champion when he came out for his entrance. Zelina attempts flying head scissors in the match. At one point, the crowd
absolutely loved that.
Yeah, she's so good. 3M. The crowd was chanting 3MB at one point. Just stop. Just don't do that.
Let it go.
Don't do that. Thank goodness it wasn't a lot of them, but still. Andrade Cien Almas does a head scissors into the post and a top rope moonsault over the post to the floor. Zelina does that spike Rana behind the referee, and then the hammerlock DDT for a near fall, and then McIntyre hits the Claymore, but Zelina puts Almas his foot on the rope. I love the story here where Almas hit everything. He hit his finisher, he hit the double knees to the back, the double knees to the front, and it took all of that, and he finally got the win late in the match. A great match. Was unexpected having Andrade get
I called it.
Nope, not for me and Taco. Let's hit air 5.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a surprising win either way. But Drew McIntyre getting an injury late in the match.
I'm hoping it's not a tear.
Still haven't heard up to this point whether it's something that's going to keep him out for a long time yet or not.
I'm thinking it's a work to keep him off to the Rumble.
I'm hoping that that's the case because, Tanahashi's been working us with this biceps tear all year.
DDP's been working the ribs for years.
I know. So I'm with you, Taco. I hope it's a work. But
that's what I was saying last week where I wanted Andrade to win because fuck, it's Andrade, but Drew McIntyre can kind of handle that spotlight a little bit of the more American mainstream wrestling. So, it makes sense for him just to come into NXT, have a cup of coffee, and then go right back to the main roster and, be another threat out there because they do need him. It's just, let's not just put the Intercontinental right on Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this one, Joe?
I wanted Andrade to win this. I really did. I think he deserves the time. He's put in really good heel work over the last little time, and I think we need a heel champion in NXT. I mean, when's the last time we had one? Was it Samoa Joe?
Probably, yes. Samoa.
So I just think we need that asshole, heel, Neville, honestly, NXT champion, and let's have some fun with it with a bunch of guys.
Double yup.
Then the women's title match, the four-way Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross. Ember Moon getting the win here. It's a good story that they've been telling. I thought it was a little strange, the Asuka coming out at the end. It felt... I don't know. It was like, hey, we're kind of buddies, but you never beat me, and I can hold that over your head. But here's your championship, and I'm kind of stealing the spotlight on this whole celebration thing. To me, the Asuka thing was weird. What did you think, Taco?
I didn't think nothing of it. It was kind of a cool moment just for her to be like, I'm passing this on to you, because it wasn't like it was just some run of the mill, champion with a couple-month championship passing it over. No, she owned that thing. That's her fucking belt. So, she should be the one to kind of hand it over. Like, you deserve this.
I guess I just didn't see that. I wasn't really thinking that much into it. I just saw Asuka, a chance to get Asuka on the screen, and have that embrace technically. That again, down the line. We're going to see another Ember Moon Asuka match, and this is just the smallest little bit to a build-up.
I'm the only one with a shitty opinion then.
Keep on sucking.
So, but this was a fun match. I liked the Billie Kay coming out with Peyton on the stage, and then Billie Kay leaving Peyton on her own, saying, "You got this. You can do this." I really enjoyed that part of it. But yeah, fun match. Ember Moon finally getting the championship. Yeah, good stuff. Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream.
I'm going to say it right now. This is match of the fucking week.
Yes, very, very good.
With all the build-up and everything with this match, it just gave more than you would expect, especially from Velveteen Dream, or VD as I like to call him.
He had those airbrushed tights, kind of
Rick Rude,
harkening
baby.
back to Rick Rude. Yeah, with Aleister's face on them as well as his. That was just a lot of fun. Aleister Black getting the win with Black Mass, but then saying, "You enjoy infamy, Velveteen Dream," and so he said his name. So.
Did you see the backstage interview with Velveteen Dream?
No, I didn't see that.
Basically, she comes up to him. And what I liked about it almost had a New Japan feel, but he's just sitting on the floor up against a concrete white wall, just breathing. Kind of like their backstage interviews. Yeah. And she asks him, about the loss and everything. He just goes, "He said my name," and he just says it 5 or 6 times. He said my name. He said Velveteen Dream, and that's all that mattered to him. It didn't matter win, lose. He got Aleister Black to say his name.
And how about
what do you want?
How about just where Velveteen Dream has been elevated to after this match, this build? I'm actually looking forward to more Velveteen Dream stuff after this.
Yeah, he showed he can hang in there.
I'm interested to see what they do with Black, honestly. We need to set up some kind of feud besides, obviously Velveteen Dream. This is, I think it was just a thrown-together feud that took off. He needs a solid, win. He needs to go, or even taking on, Undisputed Era, doing anything like that. But he needs to get himself in the heavyweight picture.
Well, yeah, you got, obviously the opening match, Lars Sullivan would be a fun opponent for Aleister. You got a lot of different, you got the Sanity faction, you got the Undisputed Era, so no shortage of good heels for Aleister Black. And then, of course, Andrade being the heel champion now. I think that would be a great WrestleMania weekend.
I was going to say, See, I wouldn't mind Andrade taking his first pinfall from Black there, and then maybe going on to the Adam Cole train.
There you go. So that would be there's definitely a lot of ways we can go.
Do you guys see Andrade starting anything like Los Ingobernables?
It would be a lot of fun, and but I just obviously they wouldn't be able to use that name. But if they could just do their own,
what if they
version
pronounce it Los Ingobernables,
or just say the Ungovernables or whatever the English
the Los Slobber Knockers?
Yeah, the Slobber Knockers. Yeah. It would be fun, but right now I don't know who would fit into that faction with him.
Cesar Bonani.
Obviously, they could bring.
You thought this out.
You bring in Clinton Dix. You know?
Clinton Dix.
But so they could find guys certainly. But right now I like the Andrade Zelina, those two playing off each other right now as is. So
well, and I posted this on Twitter too, but I want to see what you guys actually want to say to this. Is Zelina Vega going to limit herself to just a manager role, or do you see her getting into the women's division with this, even just the small little bits? I mean, this is basically how Lita started.
I mean, certainly that's a possibility. We've seen that she has those skills.
Has she wrestled on the Indies as well? Is my question.
I haven't looked her up, so I don't know. But obviously, she's got some type of experience, whether it's in the Performance Center or on the Indies. I gotta believe she's gotta have indie experience, just because she's a great talker. She's fluid in her movements and what she's doing in the ring. They obviously wouldn't just pick somebody green to come in and be the mouthpiece for Andrade Cien Almas, a guy that they were obviously high on and trying to give a push to. So I gotta believe that she's
been around about 7 years, 10 years.
See, there you go. So, yeah, definitely an experienced person. I could definitely see her getting into some wrestling stuff, but at the same time, why? When she could just be Andrade's mouthpiece and
I've got no problem with that.
Hit somebody with a head scissors once in a while. So, a lot of fun. We didn't talk Cassius Ohno versus Lars Sullivan in the opener yet. A big win for Lars Sullivan. These guys just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that we got Taco's moment just too early in the match. He throws like an elbow into Lars, like a hard elbow, not a spinning one, and does absolutely nothing to Lars. Just makes him more and more pissed.
I like that Lars's finisher is called the Freak Accident.
Well, and oh my God, the one he hit on Cassius, like the way he hit it, it was thunderous. So you don't get that word very often anymore, but
yeah.
Thunderous
Yeah.
with those two fuckers.
Yeah.
Your mom's thunderous.
All right.
Thanks, Taco.
Well, this has been kind of a messy show with the internet connection and Taco and everything. But
probably gonna need a precursor
Why'd you
on
single
this one.
me out?
No, I'm not saying
Because you suck, Taco.
I'm not saying it's Taco's fault. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying this show has. We finally made it to the end.
I, Joe Brislin, am saying it's Taco's fault.
All right, fine.
Old fashioned across the face.
I'm not even going to do the tweet thing because I haven't bothered picking one out. So we're just going to end this. We're going to get out of here while
This is a holiday show.
While the getting's good. Yeah, can you tell?
Yeah, happy Turkey Day.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there in the United States who's listening.
Oh, and I kind of want to bring up, just because I've seen the news, but there was good news about Kamala. I know people have heard about it, but it was recently announced that he's breathing on his own.
Oh, okay.
And that he's going to be taking off the respirator possibly soon.
All right.
So
yeah.
it's good news for him.
Yeah, it sounded like he might have been heading towards death's door there for a bit there. So.
But I know we forgot to mention that, and I wanted to bring it up because I love Kamala.
Well, very good. We ended the show on a positive note, so that's a good thing. So lots to talk about here in the plugs section. Make sure you go to sltdwrestling.com for links to this podcast, as well as all kinds of fun fan articles. Go to bestprowrestlingpodcast.com for all the back episodes of this show, plus episodes of Strong Honor, where I talk about Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Follow us on Twitter at BPW Podcast. Follow me at Tommy Stryker. Spell Stryker with a Y. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Snapchat, Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me at Joe BPWP. That's at Joe Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks again. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. And tune in next week for a much better version of this show. Bye.
Peace.
Keep on sucking. What?
Back up a little bit.
Shut up, Joe.
That was a little better. We were getting a little bump.
I'm actually
You guys got Coke over there?
I'm trying to turn him up a little bit, actually. I might have lost Taco here. Oh, no, we have definitely disconnected. There we go. Did we lose Taco again? Shit.
I don't think this is going to work.
There he is.
Welcome back.
What time? When did you get disconnected? I was just talking and talking, and then Taco's gone.
I didn't know. I thought you disconnected. I just been sitting here, then all of a sudden it was like you were gone. I was like, oh,
Okay.
weird. So, and
Oh, come on, Taco, stay with us. Stay with us. Stay with us. Checking the signal. Oh no.
Done.
Joining.
Yeah. See, I've already given up on it myself.
There he is. Yeah, but the audio's good, right? All right.
man, like, when did I cut off?
I think you were done with your point.
Yeah, you were coming to the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll just
gone.
I'll just jump in. Because what was it? What were you talking about? Oh, the nature of a Survivor Series match is what I was gonna talk about here. I lost it. We've lost Taco again.
Yep. Telling you, man, give up on that thing. Not gonna fucking work. The audio's great.
There he is.
Yeah, I was all like, you're fading, and you're like cutting in and out. So,
Oh man.
yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work.
You there, Taco?
He's got a very confused look on his face. Hello.
Can you pick me up?
Yep.
I can hear you now. Cool.
You can hear us?
Yeah, I had to like adjust my settings to the headphones and microphone.
Okay. Hopefully this is more stable.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Okay, Survivor Series, main event. Guys getting eliminated. Da-da-da-da-da. Fun match. What were we talking about again? No, but what were you saying there, Taco? Clarify.
Oh, I'm saying they're gonna.
What does that mean?
They're determined that for you to face these new ladies just to have a normal time match.
Hang on, Taco. I'm going to have you start one more time because it broke up just a little bit. So after you hear what does that mean, then start your point one more time, please.
What?
Did you
repeat all that?
Did you air drum, Taco?
No.
Bitch.
All right, then. So we had a continuation of the tension building between Curt Angle, Triple H, and the Authority, and Stephanie. Jason.
Wait. Are we not talking about Miz and Corbin?
No. That's why I changed the subject.
Oh, see, I didn't hear none of this.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
That's what I'm trying to figure. Okay, cool. I'm caught up. Let's go.
We have moved on. I'll try again here.
Change the subject.
Did you get that one?
No, but I did now.
What the hell? Why isn't it? I mean, actually, let's just pause here for a minute so I know where to edit this. I think we actually kind of touched on most of the stuff from Raw anyway. Joe's taking a piss. Smoke if you got him.
The fuck was that?
What was what?
Yeah, exactly.
all that noise you're making. Damn it, now I gotta piss.
That sounds like a lighter.
I like certain songs, Joe.
Good point, good point.
We're not recording.